Hello, everybody. Happy Friday? Question mark. I am quite lost for words for last night's game. I'm actually disappointed. I think that speaks for everybody who is a fan who had any kind of hope for this team to actually do something this series. I've said it before. This team is a difficult team, and obviously, did I question whether or not we were ready to be going against this team? Obviously, we have not won a single game in the regular season, in playoffs against them. So yeah, I did have doubts in how well we would go against this team. Especially considering, we still have the same coach, same problems in the sense of, other players that have an opportunity to try to give us something, maybe try to give us some chance. Like at this point, it is frustrating. I don't think at this point we have a chance to even make it out of the series. I'm just hoping we don't get swept. I mean, at the bare minimum, the Lakers should win at least Saturday for the fans who are actually going to be in the stadium, already paid for their ticket. It's going to be tough. I think that the Lakers should at least attempt to be productive at this point. So obviously, I was expecting a win in this game. I'm not going to lie. I'm going to sit here and say that I wasn't. I do think this team is great against, the Denver Nuggets are great. However, we have more talent. I just think there's more talent on this team in comparison. But again, hard work beats talent. Well-coached players beat any kind of talent. It's just like a boxing match, You can't come out really swinging right away, we did great in the first quarter. We're throwing these punches, and then we just lose the complete momentum in the next half. I don't understand what power Denver has against us, or what kind of freaking weird shit that, we just don't perform well at all after the half. After the first half, we just don't do anything. We just fall on our faces, okay? Obviously, D'Lo had a terrible game. That didn't help. Honestly, if you look at the scoreboard, the reason we lost is literally their offensive starting five were in double digits with the exception of KCP. Double digits, all of them except for KCP. Our starting five, two of them had less than 10 points. Less than 10 points. Less than 10 points together. Not a single combined. This is insanity. At what point do you put Max Christie? Max Christie at least gives us some kind of offense. We have nothing. We haven't gotten anything going. Gabe Vincent hasn't done anything really to be significant to be getting such starting time. Freaking Prince hasn't been doing anything crazy. Supposedly he's a 3-point shooting star, and where has that been? He's been hit or miss, inconsistent. Like I said, at this point, you haven't started Max Christie. You haven't given him any time. At this point, I don't understand why not. Everything else is not working. Why haven't we made adjustments? Why haven't we made any changes? AD spoke up and actually said exactly what is on his mind. This team is not coached well. Basically, bottom line, he felt that there was a lot of stretches. They didn't know what the hell they were doing. And I see it. I freaking see it as I watch the game. Nobody knows what they're doing. And by the time it's too late, they're up by freaking 5-10 points. And you know whose fault that is? Is your coach. Your coach doesn't take the time to realize, holy shit, my team is literally not even knowing what to do. Let me call a timeout. And by the time he does, it's too late. It's frustrating to watch this team. It's just very frustrating, disgusted, anger, because I know this team has way more potential, and we're literally being held back by our coach. I understand D'Lo had a terrible game. I understand Rui hasn't been doing great in the series. I understand that Reeves hasn't been doing super fantastic. But at the end of the day, when your coaching doesn't know when to make stops or timeouts or a game plan to help hey, I see what's happening. I see the momentum. I don't even think he analyzes what's happening when it's actually happening. It's just very frustrating because AD has been having the series of his career. I've never seen him play this amazing. It is frustrating. I can't imagine how AD feels right now because he's playing the best of basketball you can ask from a player. And for someone who's been injured multiple times in a year, multiple seasons, like, you have the perfect scenario where AD is he's just been so consistent, like in this series. Just like, I mean, like previous year when we had him, he was not very consistent, and now he is. It's like, is it AD and LeBron when they're both consistent, the team just doesn't step up? Like, at this point, do we need them to just sit on the bench and just watch what's going on and analyze and coach us like they did when they were out for the damn Celtics game? At this point, we're the only team that may get swept in this whole playoffs right now. And it's disgusting because the Celtics just freaking lost to the Heat without Butler. Like, but you know what the difference of that team is they have a coach that knows what they're doing, knows the strength of the players, and knows when to make adjustments, and knows that he can trust that these players will be elevated, and somehow encourages them. And I've said this before, and I know people don't agree, whatever. You may think it's not the coach's fault, but if you can't see that this coach has not put any kind of motivation, no inspiration at all to this team, you are blind. Because I have seen it multiple times. Teams play harder for a coach they believe in, a coach they feel inspired by. It's true. I mean, look at the Lions, who did amazing last year. Look at the Raiders. As soon as we got rid of our old, like, there's multiple times that the team has not done any changes with the exception of a freaking coach, and it continues to prove itself in this goddamn series, which is so frustrating because I've been asking forever now. I've been asking since early this season, just if we made the coach change, we would be a different team. We would be 100% different because we would be so confident. We would know what's going on. I mean, Frank Vogel was great. I don't even know what happened, why they didn't just keep him. Now we're suffering. We're suffering. We haven't done anything since 2020, and we're not going to even get a win at this point in the series, because how do you go from an amazing game to winning almost game two, stealing a away game, which, like I've said, the Nuggets, I wasn't expecting to even get a single win in the Nuggets home. I was actually expecting to be a complete blowout. And when you go to a game two and almost have that win right there, and then you come home to a home game, and this is your response. This is your response to the fans that have spent hundreds of thousands of dollars. Like, you know, this is disgusting. Like, and I don't even, like, I kind of want to just be so angry, because at this point it's like, what do you need to see that your players are not, they, like, you're as a head, like as a coach, in the sense of, like, even as a GM, Janine Buss has to see this, has to see that these players are frustrated, they're exhausted, they're in just, there's no motivation. And if your own star player is speaking up, that is saying a lot. Like, and the fact that it's falling on deaf ears is even more, like, disgusting, because, like I said, you have these players who are giving themselves 100%, and there's nothing to show for it at this point. And now there's people who are spending hundreds of thousands of dollars just to go play and watch, not even play, but go watch them do this. And honestly, if they don't win game 4, I apologize to all those people who are going to go watch that game, because that will be absolutely heartbreaking. Because I've been to those games. Like, I went to one of the Warriors last year when I watched them. It does. You can feel the shift of energy completely gone as soon as they're down. And, like, it's hard. As a player, I'm sure it's hard to know that you hear silence in the stadium, knowing there's thousands of people watching you right now and currently criticizing, critiquing. It can get into people's minds. But I just hope that somehow, somewhere in those stands, that someone gets the energy to not give up on this team, and hopefully give them the energy to win tomorrow. But just at least win one. Just win one. It's only one. It's a long battle, and I know this team that we're going against is very well coached. I do not think that this team is more talented than our team. 100%. I will put money on it. I will put everything on it. This team is not more talented than us. It's well coached, and they just know how to continue to fight throughout the whole game. And they know that even if, I feel like when you're like looking at the scoreboard, they don't care if they're down. They know that they're just gonna fight themselves through this. They're gonna fight through everything. They're gonna do it together as a group. And at this point, our starting five has not been doing that. They have not had the chemistry like the previous games that we've had before the series. And that last game was definitely the worst game I've ever seen. The worst game, absolute worst, because like I said, when your starting five on the opponent team is the only reason they beat you is saying a lot, because our starting five had two players who had nothing. And like I said, I do think a lot of it's coaching. I do believe that putting Rui Hachimura on Jovic is insanity to me. And it's insanity because like you're asking him to do an assignment that is not feasible, and that will slowly diminish on a person's confidence to do their job. Like if I'm if I'm giving a job task that I feel like this is not even gonna encourage me to feel like I'm doing good. Like, can you imagine guarding one of the best players in the league right now and then being shot no matter how well you're defending them? How much that takes into someone's confidence and, their ability to feel past that, that's very difficult. So, I don't know. At this point, it's like I can talk in circles and it still won't matter. We're going to probably lose game 4 and we'll be swept. And honestly, it is going to be a dagger to watch. I'm hoping we win, but as long as we have this coach, I have no faith anymore. My faith is gone, and I'm sad. So, enjoy your weekend. I hope that the Lakers don't make you as emotional or torn or as sad as I feel, but it is what it is. Have a good weekend.